Hello everyone, Farm biologist Cody joined today by Steve Ashley, owner of Hidden Prairie Farms in east central St. Croix County. Steve's project is unique to Pheasants Forever's legacy in the state, as he's been working with us over the last 15 or 20 years to restore his property. So Steve, thanks for having us here today and for your conservation efforts and your willingness to share our story. Could you give us a brief overview of the property and some of the restoration benefits you've done?
Well, we have roughly 67 acres that used to be a production soybean farm when we purchased it in 2003, and we're not farmers and we wanted to do something to help the land and to help us enjoy it, so we restored this field, which is 12 acres, to the tall grass prairie, and the field behind us on the other side of the woods, which is 11 acres, that was put into monarch habitat 3 years ago with the help of Cody and the NRCS. Where we're standing now, there's 3 fire breaks that come together that divide this field, this 12-acre field, into 3 distinct portions. Initially, when we did the restoration, this field was planted with a CP24 mix, and we've since divided it into 3 and left the big section in CP24. The strip along the back that is behind you, we've had a woody problem, so we've been treating that a little bit differently with more regular burnings and more chemical treatment to get rid of the willows and the aspens that are in there. And this section back here is the south end of the pollinator habitat that we put in. And we do annual burns, rotating sections that we burn each year so as not to destroy all the habitat for the critters, the bugs, and other things that live here. I think we counted, I think it was in the teens, the number of different bumblebees species. It was pretty close to teens. It was unbelievable when we started. I didn't know there were that many species of bumblebees, so I got a guide and I started looking at them, and we're finding they're all different species, and it's just unbelievable amount of bumblebees out here. We thought the honeybees would hamper them, but they seem to get along well. There'll be certain plants that'll be covered, like the swamp milkweed will be covered with honeybees and bumblebees and other little bees that I have no idea what they are. And put the work in and plant these native species, and you not only get the benefit of what you intended, you get all these side benefits of the diversity of critters out here. I mean, the species that have shown up here, the fishers, we had a badger out here, but like those kinds of things, where do you see that? And you don't really until you start doing this kind of habitat improvement. There's a saying, you build it and they will come. Well, plant it and they will come. We have everything in here. It's just amazing. But boy, the pheasant production is just unbelievable. I'll be sitting in a tree stand in the woods, and you'll see a pheasant, and then another pheasant, then you'll see 8 or 10 pheasants. They're all walking from the monarch habitat to the prairie and back and forth. So we really enjoy the pheasants. That and the fact that where I grew up, Portage is halfway between Aldo Leopold Shack and John Muir's Homestead Farm. And that had a lot of influence on me. The first place I ever hunted was on the land that Aldo Leopold died on. It was Wisconsin river bottoms, and that's where I learned to hunt and became aware of Leopold. Now I'm an Aldo Leopold addict. I read Sand County Almanac regularly. I have for years. I give it away as Christmas presents to my hunting buddies that don't have a clue what conservation really is. So I've had a real rich history of conservation, and it stems from hunting with my dad. The whole thing came out of hunting with my dad. So I've passed it along to my son, who's in his 40s now, and he comes out here and he does do a lot of work. I don't give him enough credit for that. And now we're working, like I said, on my grandson to try to get him to understand that you have to put into it if you want to take out of it. And the benefit of putting into it is what we found, especially now the last 10 or 12 years, the effort we put into this has produced so much satisfaction of just seeing all the critters, the diversity of critters, the diversity of habitat. So it's been really rewarding to do this project.